Greetings everyone, Free here. Welcome to the Demohub. In today's demo, we're going to take a look at Data, getRe.io. Data is a tool within the modern data space that helps with data quality and data observability, plugging right into your DBT models. A very fascinating tool. We're not going to do a full demo today, but we're going to orient yourself around the capabilities where it fits in. And this space is a very active space. Lots of players in here, and read data and open source option seems to be very fascinating. So we're going to introduce it and take a look at where exactly this fits. Now, in our previous demos, we've gone through and seen how we can create DBT models, customers models, orders models, customer orders. And again, this is not a tutorial on DBT. So assuming you have the foundation of DBT and you have that set up. Now, part of what we did in that demo was we went through putting some tests within DBT and also creating some metrics which would power the dashboard. But as data engineering teams, you're always wondering, we're doing all this work in DBT, but how can I ensure quality of my data downstream so the people who depend on this data, the reports that are going out, the dashboards that are being built, the pipelines run on time, the validity of the data is ensured. Those are challenges that data engineering teams would typically face. And this is where read data comes into play. Again, there are several tools in this space. We're going to demo all of them. We're going to talk about all of them. But focusing on read data today, if you come in, there is a cloud option which you can certainly get set up with. But alternatively is installing the open source version of following the commands here. I'm going to leave a link to all of this in the description. Once you have that installed, you're going to come into an experience that looks like this. So once you've installed read data and it's pointing to your DBT artifact and your DBT project, what read data is going to do is it's going to pull in all these models and give you an option or the ability to really have quality and observe what is happening within your DBT model in a very visual way. So going back here, there are alerts where you can see the different models and it tells us different alerts. So this is a test, schema change, some anomaly has been detected, and all of that is surfaced right here for you as alerts. So let's say we were interested in anomalies. We can see this model has some anomaly and there is the message that came with that. Now let's go into lineage. I think this is a little bit fascinating. Again, going back to our DBT model, what we had was customers joining to orders and creating customer orders. So we have that dependency now, very similar to what read data has here in the example demo is orders. From there, you might be generating orders per age. That leverages your toy shop customers. So customers and orders, creating your orders per age. Then you're having some revenue models being generated from there. Now, these are all models that do have dependencies, cascading dependencies to the left, to the right, and you want to monitor all of that. So if someone is looking at a report here, if there are issues, you can go back downstream, you can shift left and figure out where that issue is coming from. If we pick this model, revenues per age, you can see anomaly over time, which is being monitored and tracked by read data. If there were tests associated with that, if you had metrics which you've created, those are all tracked. For example, table level metrics like freshness, you see every day the data is coming in. Now, assuming that someday the data did not come in, this now becomes something very visible to you. Row counts is pretty consistent. There is a spike here. Somebody can be asking the question, why is there a spike? So just think about read data just being that observer behind the scenes, just making sure that your data is always up to par. We had a spike here, there is a drop, and somebody can go investigate this. Column metrics are also visible, standard deviation, min max, and all the stuff you expect from the quality of your data. Also schema changes. So for example, this amount is a big int, age is of double precision. It's good to be aware of all of this because a precision change, depending on your industry, could mean a lot. This is banking and you're changing your account balance from precision of double to an int. That means somebody looking at the account will not see the cents in there. So something to be aware of that is all visible with read data. So let's go back to this. You can see orders per age, I would be worried by this. So why this spike with my data, or why the drop in the row count? So this is something that somebody should go in and maybe take a look at over time and explain. And this is all your models that are running in Snowflake. Very fascinating. In here, there are tests. So with the modern data engineering stack, it's really recommended to have tests embedded. So we're talking about unit tests embedded directly into this. Again, in the previous demo we did, we created a simple test case here. There are more robust test cases that you can do in DBT or leveraging like great expectations. This is checking for unique. This is checking for nulls. Depending on what test you have, those tests will show up here. If the test pass, you get a green. If there is a failure, then you can go in and investigate that. So I said range or not null fail. So why did this fail? Right. So this becomes something that you can really zero in to see the failures. You can see the records where this failed. And now this becomes something to understand. So here we have customers that don't have an age. And if you're doing marketing, it might be appropriate to know the age of the customers you're trying to market to, because otherwise, that's exposure for fines, for potentially marketing to minors if you're not supposed to, or marketing to a demographics that is irrelevant for your business. So having all of this is not just a technical challenge, but it also affects the business. This is why data quality and data observability becomes critical for data teams to have this in place. So let's go back, take a look at, we've seen tests, take a look at tables, pick the toy shop orders tables. Again, this gives that full visibility of what's happening within that particular table in your data stack. From an observability perspective, we have a consistent, distinct values in the table. All of a sudden, there is a huge spike. Why is this happening? Did we get new customers coming in to the company, and as a result, resulting in new distinct values for customers that are putting in orders? This is something you might want to investigate. Again, we're seeing null percentages here really spiking. That could be a problem. Row counts are decreasing. So just a cockpit for which you can come in and get some insights in terms of what's happening with your data over time and any anomalies that might be surfacing. You can look at the anomalies here. You can look at metrics. This just takes you to the specific sections. You can look at the schema for which this particular table is touched. So let's go back down here so you can see orders. Downstream to your right is being used by orders per page and pending orders. So if you're going to make a change to this, you better be ready to go make changes to this too as well. Or if this is having an issue, be rest assured that your report or whoever is consuming downstream should be notified, because their quality too would be affected. So we've seen lineage here. You can actually come in and see the test cases we mentioned. You can also see the sample records too as well. So very powerful. One of the things about DBT is the ability to create these macros that you can reuse over time. So read data also pulls into those macros. Let's pick one of this. So here is a macro you can create within DBT, and those macros are all visible to here as well within read data. And you can put in the timeline for the visibility of this as well. So a very fascinating tool. This is a space that's very exciting to me at the very least. Quality is something that comes with a premium. If people don't trust the data, it doesn't matter what type of data engineering you do, you're just going to be spinning in cycles. So ensuring that there is good observability on this, there is good quality in your data, and if there are issues, those issues are surfaced. Some of these alerts could be sent to Slack or to email. So if you're looking for an observability tool that has a native alerting integration, they do have integrations with Slack as well. The documentation does have quite a bit of usefulness. So I'll recommend check out the documentation if you want to get this set up. It's a very simple setup to do. I did the setup myself as well on my demo project, but I'm not going to highlight that here just because this was more comprehensive than what I was able to do. So there you have it. Read data. If you're looking for a tool for data observability or monitoring or data quality within the modern data space, read data is an open source option that you can certainly check out and see if it meets your needs. As always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section below. We're going to make several demos on this particular space of observability. So stay tuned for that. If you do like this video, share this with somebody that might get value out of it. This has been Fro with Demohub, and I'll see you in our next demo.